Arthur Pendergast didn't mind being called a ghost. At 74, he spent his days in the dusty corners of the county's oldest postal buildings, hunting for the things time had swallowed. He called himself a recovery specialist. The locals just called him the man who chased shadows. One rainy Tuesday, while prying a loose floorboard near a rusted radiator in the derelict Oak Ridge station, Arthur found it. It was a cream-colored envelope, brittle as a dead leaf, dated October 14, 1945. The ink was faded, but the recipient's name was clear: Miss Evelyn Thorne. The discovery Arthur didn't usually read the letters. He believed in the sanctity of the seal, but this one had been torn open by time and heat. As he smoothed the parchment, the words leapt out. Evelyn, they say the war is over, but my heart is still a battlefield. I'm not coming home to the farm. I'm going to California. The boy isn't mine. Evelyn, I saw the dates. I know he's your sister's. I'll keep the secret, but I cannot live the lie. Tell Thomas I love him, even if the blood isn't mine. The letter was signed James. The search Arthur knew the Thorne family. They were local royalty, pioneers of the valley's orchard industry. Thomas Thorne, the boy mentioned in the letter, was now an 80-year-old patriarch, beloved for his philanthropy and his unwavering devotion to the memory of his hero father, James, who had supposedly died in a tragic train accident on his way home from the war. For 80 years, Thomas had lived under the grace of a beautiful lie, that his father had died trying to reach him. The encounter Arthur found Thomas Thorne sitting on a pot overlooking rows of apple trees. The old man's eyes were milky with cataracts, but his mind was sharp. I have something that belongs to you, Arthur said, his voice trembling. He held the envelope. He realized then the weight of what he carried. If he gave Thomas the letter, the healing, Thomas would know his father didn't die in an accident. James had lived, perhaps finding a different peace. Thomas would know his biological mother was actually his Aunt Sarah, explaining the mysterious bond they'd shared until her death. The destruction, the image of the hero father would vanish. The foundation of Thomas's identity, being the son of a fallen soldier, would crumble into the story of a man who ran away from a complicated truth. The choice. Thomas reached out a gnarled hand. Is it from the war? My mother always said there was one last letter that never made it. Arthur looked at the man's peaceful face, then down at the brittle paper. He thought of the peace the family had found, a peace built on a curated silence. He felt the sharp edge of the envelope against his thumb. Yes, Arthur said softly. He didn't hand it over. Instead, he pulled a small lighter from his pocket, a habit from his smoking days. But the heat got to it. Thomas, the ink has faded completely. It's blank. Thomas sighed, a long, shaky sound of disappointment mixed with relief. Ah, well, some things are meant for the silent stars, I suppose. Just knowing James tried to write, that's enough for me. Arthur watched the sunset with Thomas, the letter hidden deep in his inner pocket. He would burn it later that night. He realized that being a recovery specialist wasn't always about bringing things back. Sometimes, it was about knowing what should stay lost.